breaking down Tam, Sam, and Psalm. In case you don't know.
Sounds like a soup.
Psalm.
Damn. Define the problemo. I pretty much did. Oh, it was add an O. Come on now.
We're trying to address is between white Americans, black Americans, right? So niching it down a little bit, it would be black Americans or African Americans within the United States, a community and a business out of this. So y'all get some live brainstorming right here, and hopefully within the next year or 2 years, you can build a community.
Generation has to start over. We are only going to get so far.
Overall good vibe, but in the same time, we were also talking about business.
I felt it.
How you know it wasn't an angel's kiss?
Interesting. I imagine that being more like a, not like a.
But you didn't know what it was. You assumed it was in that, and that's why you reacted that way. But if you, that could be angel's kiss.
Deep.
All right, you get off of me, angel.
They were like, relax.
Well, live. Yeah. Did we get to get off of the angel? That was good. Oh man. But welcome back, y'all, to another show of the Melanated Married Millionaires in the making. I really wanted to circle back to the 3 steps on how to start a business. And technically there's 7 total steps from a book that I wrote called Launch It, 7 Steps to Launch Your Business.
You wrote a book?
I did. I wrote a couple of them. Appreciate you.
Crazy.
Thank you. We gonna work on your book. Yeah, in the making, as the show says. But wanted to double back because usually we go very high level with the 3 steps. But how do you know that your business idea is a viable business idea? How do you know how large your market is? How do you know how much money you might be able to make in that market? And you know that by going through these 3 terms that we're going to talk about today, which are the TAM, the SAM, and the Psalm. If you don't know what those words mean, what those acronyms stand for, make sure y'all stay tuned and we'll break it down for you. In case it's your first episode, my name is Devon Travell, creator of Black Wall Street, the board game, and co-host of the M4 show. And this beautiful, smiling, locks popping, just received an angel's kiss queen herself. Please introduce yourself.
What is going on, everybody? My name is Sinclair, aka the Health Nerd. And yes, I did apparently receive an angel's kiss during our prayer just before the episode. So thank you to the angel. I apologize for probably slapping you across the face.
Crazy. Another thing that happened during that prayer was, I don't know if you peeped it, but Jair was like, young in spirit.
I'm so happy you brought that up because I was about to.
My man said, y'all are young in spirit. That's how you know you're getting old, y'all, when you start being
young
old.
In spirit. I said, okay.
Okay, yep, we old now.
We are officially old.
It's official. That was really good. But again, today's episode, what we're going to do is we're going to break down the first 3 steps on starting your business and then zoom in on, as you're taking those steps, how do you know how big your market is? This is very important if you're looking to get investors, you're getting a loan, you're putting your own money, sweat, and tears into it. You want to know what's on the other side of that rainbow. How much can I really get in this business idea? So we're going to break that down. Yeah, what the check looking like. Sinclair is our accountant, logistics person, and resident Debo. So if anyone owes us money, she's like, hey, where my money at? in case you didn't know. All right.
Professionally,
Queen,
of course.
Professional Debo, of course. Queen, you ready to get into it?
I am.
Let's hop in. So I want to start off by breaking down Tam, Sam, and Psalm, in case you don't know.
Sounds like a soup.
Psalm?
Tam
Psalm?
Song.
Oh, it sounds like dim sum?
Sort of like a Thai soup.
If only. Goodness. It's not gonna be that delicious. Hopefully it'll be as fun. So take out your notepad, phone, whatever it is. TAM stands for Total Addressable Market. All right, Total Addressable Market. This is everybody in the world that could possibly want your service or product, or everyone in your particular nation. Talk to me, Queen.
So why wouldn't everybody's TAM be all 8 or 9 billion people on the planet?
Great question. So you're going to narrow it down one level with your niche, right? So and we're going to get into examples later on about Play Black Wall Street and M4, but let's say you're going to do water, for example. Everybody in the world needs water, right? So that's 7.38 billion people all around the world, but maybe you're going to do high-end water, right? So now your TAM would change a little bit based on income. Maybe you're going to do water that's in recyclable plastic or in glass. So now your TAM shifts based on values,
Gotcha.
right? So total addressable market is everyone in the world that would want your specific product, and then you go to niche down a little bit, and we'll go over some specifics so that you can write it down and know how you're going to align with the TAM, SAM, and SUM. Okay.
Damn, Sam, Sam.
Hey. Next, SAM, serviceable addressable market. These are the people that you would actually service, right? So now you're niching down even more specific to English speaking, Spanish speaking, patois speaking, whatever language it is that you're using. Maybe you're niching down to ethnicity, right? Maybe you're focusing on the Chicano market. Maybe you're focusing on the African American market. Gender, right? Maybe you're going to be doing women's fitness, male fitness. Maybe you're doing LGBTQIA community. Either way, you are niching down just a little bit further. And this should be also maybe like a 10-year horizon, right? Within the next 10, 15 years, we could get this particular market, all right? Sam, serviceable, addressable market. Queen, you have a question?
Go over our TAM, SAM, and SUM later?
We are going to go over our examples of what our TAM, SAM, and SUM could look like. And we're saying TAM, SAM, and SUM repeatedly so that you eventually get it, right? Through osmosis in your subconscious. You could be dreaming all night. TAM, SAM, SUM, TAM, SAM, SUM, TAM, SAM, SUM. Tick, tick.
Tick, tick.
It's a great song. Hothead Youngin, we see you. All right, next. SOM, SOM, serviceable, obtainable market. So this is based on the resources, based on the budget, your marketing, the team that you have right now. What is the market you can actually service within the next year or 2 years?
This is realistic.
This is
get real.
Let's get real. All right, we were dreaming. Everybody in the world, 7.3 billion. That's cute.
That's cute.
That's cute. Now, how many are in your city? Right, let's narrow it
Your
down.
neighborhood.
Your neighborhood, maybe your region, Southern California, maybe the region of Greater Chicago, maybe the region of New York, Brooklyn, Harlem, right? You're getting real specific on who can I reach and actually connect with. This is going to be really good, especially for when you start doing Facebook ads, Instagram ads, Google ads. You're now going to obviously market towards those cities that you can obtain.
And is this going to, I imagine this would vary based on if you have a, if it's more of a physical service versus, or physical product versus a virtual.
For sure.
So I imagine if you're doing like virtual coaching, you probably have a wider population of people that you can service. You can do Chicago, Detroit, you know, Atlanta or whatever, versus if you are doing hair, like you have to be very specific about, unless you're about to be traveling, you know, you're high end, maybe you travel to those clients. But other than that,
a loctician that would come to the house would take my money.
Period.
Take my money. And especially if they can have a mobile shampoo setup, so I'm not washing my hair like in the sink or the shower. They bring the whole setup, maybe hop in the backyard, hop in the kitchen, whatever. I need that.
Interesting.
Think about it.
But yeah, I mean, like that type of product or service, you'd have to be much more local. So
Sure.
something to think about as well.
Yes, ma'am. So based on that, TAM, SAM, SUM, any follow-up questions that you have before we hop into the 3 steps, and then we're going through examples of how the TAM, SAM, SUM, and the 3 steps apply to our businesses.
When you say obtainable, what does that actually mean? So that just means like if I'm a hairdresser, who I can physically drive to or who can come to my shop, maybe that's a little bit easier. But if I have a virtual business, how do you determine who's obtainable and who's not?
Good question. I think it's who can you realistically reach and have them purchase? Those are obtainable customers.
It's like who will actually see my ad, click on it, come to my website, and possibly buy my service.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
And again, for like Facebook ads, Instagram ads, if you want to have your niche audience be people that are in urban cities all across the world, then you would just put in Chicago, Brooklyn, Houston, LA, Oakland.
Mm-hmm.
What's another good one? New Orleans.
Yeah.
Just trying to show love, huh?
You said Houston. Right?
Houston. I did say Houston. Shout out. But you just put in all those specific centers. Charlotte, possibly, right? I don't know if Riverside, we love Riverside. I don't know if Riverside would make it as an urban center per se, but for us, it's in our song because of where we're located, right? So yeah, definitely make sure y'all understand TAM, SAM, and SOM and make those adjustments based on whether you're giving a virtual product or you have a physical service, all right? Queen, ready for the 3 steps?
Yes.
You know step 1 because you are a devout scholar and you have read the Launch It book several times, and you know the person who wrote the book, and you've been in, you know him, and you've been in several workshops. So step 1, what is it?
Define the problemo.
Can you say it in English? I don't know what.
I pretty much did. All I did was add an O. Come on now. Define the problem. So you want to, we are about creating like solutions-based entrepreneurship.
Yes, we are.
And so you want to define a problem that you're actually trying to solve within this market. So whether it's, unhoused, whether it's
Financial literacy.
I'm trying to think of world hunger.
World hunger. Yes.
Something that a lot of
Access to
people.
clean water.
Yes. All good problems to be solving with a business idea, so that not only does your business, yes, make money, hopefully gain you financial freedom, generational wealth, all those good things, but you're also making a difference in the world. So again, define a problem that you want to solve. It can be something big like we talked about. It can also be, I always like the example of like, I don't want pulp in my orange juice. So like a little filter that takes out pulp.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, you could just buy no pulp orange juice.
You could.
But before there was no pulp orange juice, there was somebody out there that said, well, if I put a little filter here on the spout that strains out the pulp, boom, no pulp orange juice. It could be as small as that. And even think about like, again, it could be like a big macro problem. It could also be really something small, like, dang, I keep like hitting my shin on my coffee table. Maybe I need a little bumper thing, little things like that. Like think about like the last time you got frustrated, like, man, I stubbed my toe here, or man, I wish I had this, or man, I wish I had that. My phone is always dying on me. Like those types of things are the problems that people come up with to think about, like, how can I solve this problem? Because I know I'm not the only one who has this problem. The likelihood that you are the only person in the world that has this problem is very low. So think about how you can solve that problem, because there's probably other people who also have that problem.
Boom. There it is, right? Step number 1. And how that connects with TAM, we go with the phone issue, right? If your phone is constantly dying, that's the problem. So now how you create the TAM is how many people in the world have phones. That is now your TAM. If you want to niche down, it can be how many people in the world have iPhones. It can be how many people in the world have Google Pixels or Androids. It's 2.
Not in the world.
It's just us. But that's how you kind of start to niche down that TAM just a little bit. Okay. Step number 2 in this 3-step on how to start your business, 7 steps. We're going over just the 3 today. We'll go over the next 4 another day. Step 2 is, what is your unique value proposition, or what is your niche market going to be? So UVP, unique value proposition. This is what makes your approach to the market, or what's going to make your product different from other products that are already on the market. All right. So this can be your perspective. This can be gender. This can be religion. This can be the type of phone that you use. Anything that helps you get a little bit more specific and unique within the marketplace. Number 3 is now, who specifically is your audience? All right. Who is that you're going to serve? And for me, I like to not only get either a geographical region, maybe an income band that you're going to do across the nation, but also a specific 10-year age range of your customers. I do that because the people who listen to music at 45, listen to completely different music than a 15-year-old, right? People that are wearing, or people that get their locks done at 50 probably need a different care, a different vibe than someone who's getting their locks done at 16. People who are wearing Jordans at X age are going to be different than baby Jordans, right? So you just want to make sure that your audience is specific and you're producing a product or a service with their culture, their age range, their music preferences, all of that in mind for the product. Queen, anything you want to add for those first 3 steps?
I feel like this trips a lot of people up because it seems counterintuitive because you want to be able to service everybody possible. And I think that is, a trap that a lot of entrepreneurs fall in at first is like, they don't get specific, for who they're talking to. So then they end up talking to nobody because again, like he said, like if you're selling clothing wear, like we just had a group from Dimely that had a streetwear.
Cozy clothing.
Yes. And I remember kind of working with them and trying to define like, who are you talking to? And they were like, well, everybody. And I was like, well, you're making streetwear. I was like, is a 70-year-old going to want to wear the type of, clothes that you're creating? And they were like, no. Okay. So what age range do you think this would actually look good to? It's not going to look good to everybody. No. So I feel like if you're trying to create a product for everybody, you are likely not going to be connecting directly with any individual community. So I think it is important, at least at first, right? You can kind of expand later on once you maybe add more to your product line or add more to your services. Right. But I think at first it's really important to niche down to one specific community. Yep. So you can really figure out like, okay, what does this community need? How can I improve the services to this community? And then again, later on, after everything goes well, you can expand. But even though it may seem counterintuitive, like I don't want to close off my product or service to this other group. You're not doing that. You're just really getting down to who are you talking to.
Right. So it also comes down to this part is your SOM, right? This is your serviceable, obtainable market. This small group of maybe 15 to 25-year-olds can grow once you reach your SAM. So once it's been 7 years, it's been 10 years, you have a bigger budget, you have more people. Now you can maybe reach 15 to 35-year-olds or go down from 25 all the way down to 5-year-olds because you have more resources. You have to understand, I love the fashion example because we have a lot of friends that have fashion clothing and they haven't gotten into making baby clothes yet. Right? It's like, why wouldn't you make baby clothes? And it's like, that's not my market right now. My market is college students. My market is recent graduates. Eventually we'll start getting to kids wear. But right now, if I spend $10,000 getting kid clothes, I'm not gonna be able to sell those kid items. So I'll make a better profit and return if I put $10,000 into adult wear that I can sell flip than I would if I buy kids wear. Yep. All right. So be smart with your resources. That's literally what economics is all about. You have a limited resource and what's the best way to strategically use your limited resources.
Yes.
Okay. Now, I have a slight aside. This is not on topic at all, but you said a 70-year-old wouldn't want streetwear. You know where my head went?
No.
So we did a comedy club. We went to a comedy club and there was this very older white gentleman on stage and he was talking about, I just moved to California. It's kind of expensive. So I've had to kind of get these side jobs. And, I recently became the accountant for the Crips.
No, he didn't say that. He said, I recently became a member of the Crips. And we were all just like, word? And then he's like, yeah, I'm their accountant. It was hilarious.
Hilarious. But I think that's the one 70-year-old that might rock the streetwear.
He might get away with it.
Cozy with a C, though. I don't know if he would do the cozy with a K like the original brand. But that came across my head. It was funny times. But hopping into it, Queen, are you ready to go through some examples? All right, we'll go through examples of Melanated Married Millionaires in the making. We'll go through examples of Play Black Wall Street, just so y'all can see how these things should work. We're not going to go into the full details. We're not going to go into the full data mining right now. But 2 places that you can get really good data. One, the U.S. Census Bureau. You can literally go www.census.org. That's going to have a lot of good demographic data. So if you're trying to look for the number of people that are married in the United States, the number of people that are married in California, number of black people that are in the education system, all those kind of population things, census, income data, census. All right. So go ahead and start mining your data there, or ask Chat GPT if you want to be lazy, which a lot of people are going to do, I'm sure. Step number 2, or data source number 2, is called Statista. Statista. Boom.
Don't look at me.
Statista. You go there and it has a lot of Statista. Yes, ma'am. You go there and you have a lot of that took me back to what did you say with the O at the end?
Problemo.
Statista. Whenever we travel, she has a completely different name that she goes by if the place that we travel speaks Spanish. So if we're in America, if we're in Italy, if we're in Cape Town, I'm Sinclair. Oh, I'm Sinclair. If we're in Colombia, if we're in Mexico, if we're in Spain, it's a completely different name.
What do you say? It's a completely different name. Like I made it up.
Name. She made it up.
It's my name.
They don't know that.
I'm not giving y'all it.
And you're not giving the tea. And hey, if you know, you know. But I find that funny. Anyway, Statista. You can go there, get consumer reports on how much are people spending on jewelry, how much are people spending on shoes, how much are people spending on education, stuff like that. So then you can know how big your market size is. All right. So those 2 data sources will really get you right. Now,
you over here trying to play me by my name. That's crazy.
It's crazy, Queen.
That's crazy.
You know, I just call you Queen. Mm-hmm. Everyone knows you as
Sinclair.
No, everyone knows you as. Everyone that you meet that meets me first knows you as
Queen.
Yes, not just Queen.
The Queen.
The Queen. It's like it's a compound name.
Are you the Queen?
The Queen. Anyway, so example number 1. And Queen, do you want to do full example, play Black Wall Street, first 3 steps, Tam, Sam, Som, or do you want to do like a back and forth, Tam for play Black Wall Street, Tam for Melanated Married Millionaires? First one. Okay. Why you make that eye like that?
I was just thinking.
Okay. So play Black Wall Street. Problem number 1 is people don't know about Tulsa Black Wall Street. Problem number 2 is there is a significant wealth gap in America. All right. So those are the 2 problems. So if you look at the TAM, it's everyone in the world that doesn't know about Tulsa Black Wall Street, which is a significant amount of people, easily 6 million.
Shrinking each day, but
yes, it is. And then number 2, if we wanted to get a little bit more specific, the wealth gap that we're trying to address is between white Americans, Black Americans, right? So niching it down a little bit, it would be Black Americans or African Americans within the United States. Number 2 is the niche or UVP, which for Play Black Wall Street is
Black homeschooling parents or families.
Yep, Black homeschooling families, and specifically those folks because they, 1, appreciate Black history, and 2, appreciate gaming in a unique way, right? Not just games to be entertained, but homeschooling families like to use games as a source of education, which is perfect alignment with Play Black Wall Street, okay? So and then niching down, our SAM would be Black or African American homeschooling families within America. And if we wanted to niche it down a little bit, we would look up how much are Black families spending on games in a household, right? So we would get the number of families that are homeschooling, which probably in America, close to 1 million, maybe 2 million. And we can do some data searching on that. And then how much are Black families as a household spending every year on games? Might be $100, $200 per year. So then you do the $200 times the 1 million families. So now our SAM is a $200 million a year market.
Jeez.
All right, we cooking now. Your ears perked up. I saw you. All right. So and then going to the SOM for Play Black Wall Street is audience. All right. So Black homeschooling families, and we said specifically for us that have 2 children, who we figured you might not play a family game night with just 1 kid, but if you have 2 kids that are both above 8 years old, that's a fun night. Would you agree?
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Immediately. And then going down a little bit more for our psalm, we would maybe focus on California, or if we wanted to be really specific, we would do Southern California, LA, San Diego, Riverside. All right. So again, we would get the population of Black homeschooling families. We would get the population of Black homeschooling families that have 2 kids. Censusbureau.org would get us that. And then we would do how much people are spending per year, which again, $200 a year. Multiply those numbers and we would get our psalm, which I would imagine being somewhere around $12 million a year. Eyebrows dancing. All right. So that was for Play Black Wall Street. If you have a gaming brand, or if you have a board game, you have a flashcard game, you have a book, something like that, your process is going to be very similar to the steps that we just did. Now, if you have a podcast, you have a education community that you're building, then you might go through these steps, which we're going to go through for the M4 show. Queen, you ready?
Yes.
Let's see. M4 show. What problem are we trying to solve or address with Melanated Married Millionaires in the Making?
Well, I think it does go back to the wealth gap. That's definitely a problem. I think also the fact that when, like, the generational part of it, so making sure that the wealth is actually being transferred to the future generation, so that each generation does not have to start over.
That's good. I wonder how you can calculate that wealth. I'm gonna call it wealth erosion because I don't know a better term for it. What would you, instead of erosion, which for those that didn't take physics, erosion is when like the water goes over the rock and over years of time, it erodes it and it decreases, it shrinks. And I think that's sometimes what happens generation to generation is we get the wealth through maybe life insurance, maybe through the house, maybe through the jewelry, but and then we sell it, we lose it in probate court, whatever it is, and it erodes away over generations. Yeah, you like in wealth erosion?
I like that, actually, very much so.
Put a
You heard
pin
it
in
here
that.
first.
You heard it here first. The erosion of Black wealth. That's a whole book. All right. Anyway, yes, I have that in my notes. The wealth gap between Black and white families as the problem that the M4 show is trying to address. I do like, I'm going to add that. I do like the concept of us also supporting in not just the building of the wealth, but how do you efficiently pass it down? I like that.
Transferability of the wealth, of said wealth.
And why is that important?
Because, as I talked about it, if every generation has to start over, we are only going to get so far. If you're talking about it's like you're trying to do a relay race, but each leg you have to go back to the start.
Golly, you would never win.
No, you would not.
Wow.
Right? Mind you, everybody else is just passing it from person to person. So they are lapping us, right? So I think that it is important to make sure that the baton gets to the other team and they start from here, right? We don't want to give them the baton and okay, so you have the baton now, I'm giving it to you, but you got to go back there, right? That doesn't make sense. So we're trying to make sure that folks, not only with the money, but I think it also is the knowledge, it's the education on what to do with the money. The wealth management should be passed down. It should be a part of the culture, the family culture, that folks are taught what to do with money. Not what they have to do with money, but what they can do, right? Options. You can start a business, you can put it into real estate, trust, right? All these things that you can do, but these are the steps that we always take, right? A family trust, a 529, whatever those things are, again, options. But I think it's important to make sure that not only the money, but the education is passed down and hopefully in a way to where one generation can't mess it up.
Right.
Every generation's gonna have that person that wants to come and just
That oops. Oopsie daisy. Did I just drop the family legacy?
But you should set it up and structure it so that any one individual cannot come and just mess up the whole family legacy.
Really like that relay analogy. I like that. So then TAM for the M4 show would be all married couples. And then if we wanted to niche down, it would be all Black married couples, either in the world or in the nation. All right. And then if we wanted to spread it out a little bit, we would do all melanated couples, which is a wider, more diverse, beautiful audience as well. Huh?
I just thought about so lately when I'm on Instagram, my entertainment is from the comments. But I just thought about a video where someone was trying to reference white people, and they said, they were just like, "Yeah, I agree, my melanin deficient brother," or something
My
like that.
melanin deficient brothers.
Oh, that made me laugh.
I would not use that to refer to anyone, but I do see the comedy in it.
Yeah.
Now, and just so it's not awkward, in case you are white and you're watching this, you're welcome. Take the notes.
Come on over. Come on to the cookout.
Over. For sure, come to the cookout. Take some notes on the recipes and the seasonings that we use. And I would say, what? Take the notes. I'm just saying. I would say for our Sam, Sum, Tam, we're just being very specific on our niche. Not to say that other people aren't welcome to the show, the podcast, to what we do, but when we create content, when we create our experiences and our services, we have a very specific family in mind. That's it. All right. So going to step 2, niche and UVP. Now I have something written down, but hey, relax. Relax. You that person on the final who's looking at other people's.
I am not. I would never. I'm scary, bro.
But what would be our niche or UVP for the M4 show? And this is kind of live because we're still working on monetizing the M4 show, right? We have tons of amazing content. And right now it's been really good practice, I think, for us to get on camera, go through this, study, and we apply these things to our usually Playback Wall Street main business. But eventually we're also trying to, how do we take the M4 show and build a community and a business out of this? So y'all get some live brainstorming right here, and hopefully within the next year or 2 years, you can join the community.
I think that our niche, there's a lot of different ways you could go, but the fact that we are melanated, we've already talked about that. We are married. There's of course, our name, right? We're melanated, we're married, we're millionaires in the making. But I think also we have created a business, right? And created, like, it didn't get passed down. We actually created, started a product, and created a business that we are both now basically fully employed, in. So I think that is something that does make us different, because sometimes people want to start a business and keep it as a side hustle, which is fine. I think we have a specific niche that we are trying to create something that we can both, fully be fully employed in, so that we can have control of our time and our lifestyle and such.
One thing that I think I'll add, well, first I'll comment in case you're going to add the same thing that I'm going to add. But I like the idea of focusing in on married couples that want to start a family office. Right? I think family office is the term usually used for like nonprofits, or like when you have your lawyer, your accountant, the person that makes your trust, and they're like, oh yeah, we work for the Bill Gates and Melinda family office. Oh, we work for the LeBron James and Savannah James family office. And it's like, you want to create your own business and family office. And I think those are the married couples that we can probably create the most impact with, because that's our path. Right. So as we build that castle brick by brick, we could then pass back the blueprints, pass back the plan, and say, this is why we did this. This is why we did that. So yeah, I like that as a niche. What I was going to say in addition to that is, do you know it? Are you reading my mind?
I'm not.
Not actively? Is there a blockage?
Yeah. But the angel's standing here, so it's
the angel standing right here. What's going on? But it's travel. We love to travel. That was not there even close. And you're the travel person. That's crazy. No? Anyway. So travel is something that we want to add and be a unique value proposition for the M4 show. We did a test little retreat in Belize. Beautiful vibes. Amazing beach. Amazing fried jacks. Good drinks. Good food. Overall good vibe. But in the same time, we were also talking about business.
Right.
We were talking about real estate. We were talking about family trust. We were talking about these other things while we were having a good time. And I think that's also something that we want to offer. Like, how can we go to Ghana? How can we go to Belize? How can we go to Costa Rica? How can we go to Cape Town with a group of people and have an experience where we're not only having fun and enjoying ourselves, but we're also building wealth and building a network. So I think that's also niche.
Yes.
Right. So for our SAM, serviceable addressable market, we're looking at married couples. We're looking at African American married couples. We're looking at African American couples that like to possibly travel and African American couples who are considering building their own business. So y'all can see how it can get very, very narrow and specific. And now we would go on Census Bureau and figure out how many married couples are there, which in America, I saw there's 5 million married couples in America. Now, out of those 5 million, how much do they spend every year in travel? Don't know that data yet, but you go to Statista, look that up, how much they're spending every year in travel. Probably at least $1,000, if not $2,000 for a couple.
Yeah, where are you going for
Yeah,
$1,000?
at least. Look, Vegas.
Maybe. Not even there. Bro, I was looking the other day.
You at the Holiday Inn.
We'll leave the light on. It was the Motel 6.
Motel 6. Okay, we can maybe 5,000 comfortably, right? So if there's 5 million couples and $5,000, that's now a $5 trillion SAM.
Of course, that is assuming that they are taking
Billion, my bad.
They are taking vacation. That might average out. Or are we, well, if you say travel,
Travel.
does that mean like to travel or actively travel?
So the thing that we can actually look up is how much are people spending on travel.
Gotcha. Then yeah, I think if you are traveling, then yeah, I think it's easily $4,000 or $5,000.
Yeah. So now that becomes a $5 billion SAM. Of course, we got to narrow it down a little bit to the people that now are interested in starting the business. So that's probably going to be 10% of that. So we're still looking at 50 million a year as a SAM. Still really good.
I'll take it.
I'll take it. All of it. All right. And then going down one step further, audience, which we kind of already narrowed down. But if we had to pick a 10-year age range, my love, what would be the 10-year age range for the M4 show?
Probably 28 to 38.
With a strong shoulder and hair flip, yes. So 28 to 38. I put 30 to 40 because that's where we are actively now. But I like the idea of reaching back a little bit younger.
Because we started this a couple of years back. So if we're trying to reach our past selves,
that's good.
Before we got to this place, that would have been a couple of years ago.
That's good. I like the concept of using yourself as maybe even a midpoint. So if you're 30, you're 40, how do you go 5 years back, 5 years forward? Yeah. So we would go 26 to 36.
Yeah. So we don't know too much about the 35, 36. So I think things may change between now.
You know why we don't know?
Because we're young.
In spirit. Because we're young in spirit, y'all. Oh, this is a good episode. It was a lot of laughs. Okay. So at this point, we've gone through those 2 examples for us. We've gone through the Play Black Wall Street first 3 steps, TAM, SAM, and SOM. And we've gone through the M4 show first 3 steps, TAM, SAM, and SOM. Highly encourage you to rewatch this video, right? Especially if you're actively building a business, you're actively thinking about what audience do I want to serve. Go back, rewind it, take your notes, and go to the Census Bureau. Look at your demographics, go to the Statista website, look at the consumer reports, and figure out how much money is really in the market and the idea that I have. I think this is something that I struggle with, and I know other people struggle with. Is you have ideas. They're written down, they're out there, and you think, oh, this is $1 million idea. And you've taken 0 action on that idea. Come to find out, if you do the research, it might be $100 million idea. Are you still willing to sit around on that $100 million idea? Or would that motivate you to actually take some action, right? So highly encourage you, go back, rewatch this, take your notes, open up your data, or open up ChatGPT and start asking those very specific questions, okay? Queen, any other actions that you have for them after watching this episode?
No, I think that covers it.
There it is. So we appreciate y'all. Hopefully you got a lot of value out of today's episode. My name is Devon Travell, creator of Black Wall Street, the board game.
And I'm Sinclair, aka the Health Nerd. I did think of an action.
Oh, come on. The V sparked it for you?
Yeah. I would like you to like and subscribe.
Yes, that's important. Ding, look at that smile. You can't deny that smile, man. Make sure y'all like and subscribe. And of course, make sure y'all also secure the marriage. Make sure y'all secure the love. And of course, make sure y'all secure the bag. Peace. Ooh, time. I don't know what it was.